They don't trend, they don't tweet, they don't beg for attention, but their decisions shift markets. Their silence echoes louder than most CEOs' speeches. While other billionaires chase fame, this family disappears. No red carpets, no headlines, just control. Their empire stretches across water, medicine, and infrastructure, yet most people couldn't name a single member. Because power like this doesn't need permission. It doesn't need applause. It just needs to exist, quietly. And today, we peel back the curtain on a dynasty that doesn't want to be famous, just forever. This is the private life of China's richest family. He doesn't give interviews, he doesn't walk red carpets, he doesn't post from yachts or luxury retreats, and yet he is one of the richest men in Asia. His name? Zhong Shanshan. And unless you live in China or study billionaire lists religiously, you've probably never heard of him. That's by design. Known as the Lone Wolf, Zhong represents a different breed of billionaire, one who didn't rise through tech hype or flashy IPOs, but through absolute control and relentless privacy. While others built empires in the spotlight, Zhong built a fortress in the shadows. His path to power is unconventional. He started as a construction worker, then worked as a journalist before launching a bottled water company, Nongfu Spring, and later a biotech firm, Wantai Biological. Two industries few associate with glamour, but both quietly essential to everyday life. Today, Nongfu Spring is everywhere in China, on every shelf, in every fridge. Wantai played a crucial role during the COVID-19 pandemic. These aren't passion projects, they're strategic choke points in sectors people depend on, and Zhong owns them. In 2020, as demand for both water and vaccines exploded, Zhong's net worth soared past $60 billion, briefly making him the richest man in China. And what did he do with that spotlight? He walked away from it. No thank you speech, no press tour, no sudden leap into philanthropy. He stayed silent. No victory lap, no media blitz, just the quiet continuation of a lifelong habit. Avoid attention, gain power. In China, that's not just smart, it's survival. Public figures don't just face criticism, they face consequences. When Jack Ma criticized China's financial regulators, he vanished from public view for months. Other moguls faced investigations, forced divestments, or worse. Zhong didn't need that reminder. He watched it happen, and he learned the rule that governs China's ultra-wealthy. Don't become the face, become the force. Zhong's wealth flows through carefully guarded channels. His corporate holdings are structured through layered entities, trusts, and offshore accounts. His family, virtually invisible. His wife is barely mentioned in public records. His son, educated overseas, avoids cameras, media, and social platforms entirely. No staged interviews, no Forbes profiles, no selfies with presidents. Everything Zhong does is wrapped in discretion. Even his company branding follows the same script. Nongfu Spring doesn't market itself as luxurious. It presents itself as pure, simple, and reliable. A brand built to blend in while dominating the market. Quiet power, not loud presence, but don't mistake silence for absence. Zhong is watching. His influence stretches beyond beverages and biotech. He holds stakes in logistics, infrastructure, and distribution channels that move across the country. He's embedded in supply chains that touch hundreds of millions of lives every day. And he doesn't just sit on wealth, he protects it by surrounding it with layers of legal, financial, and social insulation. You won't find Zhong at Davos. You won't catch him giving TED talks. He doesn't need to be famous because his wealth isn't a performance, it's a fortress. In fact, some insiders say he sees visibility itself as a weakness. Attention brings questions. Questions bring risk, and risk brings collapse. So he opts for something far more powerful than fame: invisibility. In an era where tech billionaires post daily, launch rockets, and live stream boardroom battles, Zhong Shanshan has chosen a different model, one that reflects an older form of power. Think old money, royalty, emperors, power that doesn't need a name tag. His decisions shape industries, his companies shift markets, and yet he remains largely unknown outside of China. That's intentional. He doesn't want to be a personality, he wants to be permanent. This is the billionaire blueprint few talk about. Not viral, not loud, but absolutely. His entire life is an exercise in preemptive defense. He builds not just companies, but moats. Moats of silence, moats of loyalty, moats of structure. Zhong doesn't lead with charisma, he leads with caution. In a country where fortunes can vanish overnight, caution is king. And that makes him not just rich, but untouchable. While others are celebrated, targeted, or exposed, he simply remains, outlasting the noise, outpacing the trends, outmaneuvering the game. Zhong Shanshan doesn't want to be seen. He wants to be inescapable. And in the new world of silent billionaires, that might just be the ultimate power. In a world where the ultra-rich build empires in public, Zhong Shanshan built his in silence. And behind that silence stands a fortress. Not a literal castle, but something far more impenetrable. A system designed to shield wealth, mask influence, and eliminate vulnerability. Because when you're sitting on billions in a country where the political winds can shift overnight, security isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. And Zhong has turned security into strategy. His companies are layered through complex ownership webs, often held through holding firms, which are in turn connected to family trusts and shell corporations registered in offshore havens. The structure isn't just for taxes, it's for protection. If one piece gets targeted, the rest remain untouched. His corporate blueprint is a fortress with no single point of failure. That philosophy extends beyond money. Zhang doesn't just protect his assets, he protects his identity. His homes aren't listed under his name. His travel is discreet. Private jets aren't flamboyant. They're untraceable. No tail numbers that match tabloids, no paparazzi snapshots. In fact, most of the public photos that exist of Zhang are old or low resolution. Even his physical image is elusive. Security to him means being unsearchable, not just offline, but off the radar entirely. His inner circle? Handpicked, trusted, tested. Employees sign strict NDAs. Advisors are filtered for loyalty. Family members don't attend galas. They vanish behind private doors. Friends don't post photos with him. Acquaintances don't brag. And the few people allowed to know the rules. Speak softly, stay quiet, and never bring attention. This level of privacy isn't paranoia. It's pattern recognition. In recent years, China has seen sweeping crackdowns on billionaires who became too public, too powerful, or too independent. One day, they're giving speeches. The next, they're gone. Their companies investigated, shares suspended, assets frozen. Zhang learned from those collapses. He watched tech moguls lose control of their companies. He saw property kings reduced to cautionary tales. So he built differently. No tech feuds, no regulatory battles, no media profiles. He doesn't chase influence, he buries it. And that's why his fortune doesn't just survive, it compounds. Inside Nongfu Spring and Wantai Biological, his reach is surgical. Every board seat, every key leadership role is held by someone loyal or legally bound to him. Executives are rotated frequently, ensuring no one gets too comfortable. No rival factions, no palace coups, just control. Even his product lines reflect this discipline. Nongfu doesn't expand wildly into gimmicks. It sticks to essentials. It dominates the basics. Bottled water, tea, functional beverages. The brand sells trust, reliability, and in China's cautious economy, trust is currency. His branding choices are psychological armor. The more ordinary he appears, the more extraordinary his reach becomes. That philosophy extends to public relations. When scandals hit rival companies, Zhang's name never surfaces. When the media covers elite gatherings or financial expos, he's not on the guest list. And when the government sends signals about common prosperity or warns against conspicuous wealth, Zhang already fits the mold. No flashy lifestyle, no giant penthouses, no viral yacht videos. He's the billionaire the state can point to as responsible, disciplined, low profile, and quietly patriotic. He plays the long game, not to get ahead of competitors, but to be untouched when they fall. And his fortress isn't just defensive, it's offensive in design. It allows him to move silently while others react loudly. When markets shift, he's already restructured. When policies tighten, he's already compliant. When surveillance increases, he's already invisible. That kind of foresight doesn't come from brilliance alone. It comes from fear, precision, and a refusal to be caught unprepared. His wealth isn't loud, but it is layered, and each layer adds distance between him and the chaos of modern power. Zhang doesn't build to be admired, he builds to endure, and the deeper you look into his empire, the more it feels like a mirror of his mind. Sharp, unassuming, and unbreachable. No weak links, no sudden moves. Just architecture designed for permanence. It's why he doesn't make headlines, because headlines are exposure. It's why his family isn't photographed, because visibility is a risk. And it's why when other billionaires are forced to apologize, disappear, or divest, Zhang simply stays quiet and keeps growing. Because in his world, power isn't something you show off. It's something you protect. Layer by layer, law by law, brick by silent, invisible brick. Legacy is usually loud. Names carved into skyscrapers, faces on magazine covers, billionaire families turning into global brands. But Zhang Shanshan isn't building that kind of legacy. His legacy isn't made of headlines, it's made of shadows. While other business dynasties craft narratives and generational profiles, the Zhang family is writing a different story, one where silence is security and invisibility is inheritance. His goal isn't to become a household name, it's to become untouchable across generations. To do that, he isn't just building wealth, he's building a system that lives beyond him. Because in China, legacy doesn't just mean success, it means survival. Zhang knows how quickly power can evaporate. He's seen billionaires rise and fall within a single political cycle. He's watched families lose everything, not because they failed in business, but because they became too visible, too loud, or too comfortable. So while others build media empires and film documentaries about their lives, Zhang is building something far quieter and far more enduring. His family doesn't speak to the press. There are no profiles, no lifestyle pieces, no wedding features. His children don't run social media empires. There are no leaked text messages, no scandals, just absence. Intentional, measured absence. But absence doesn't mean disconnection. Behind the scenes, Zhang is transferring not just shares, but systems. Layers of legal insulation, networks of loyal managers, offshore structures, foundations and holding companies designed to outlive political waves. His playbook is built on strategic anonymity. If the goal is to protect the family for the next 50 years, then attention is the enemy, and protection becomes the product. His son has been groomed quietly, educated abroad, trained in business, but never paraded. No nepotism headlines, no boardroom drama, just readiness. When the time comes, the son won't step into a spotlight, he'll step into a system. This system isn't just financial, it's philosophical. It's about understanding the landscape of Chinese business, where loyalty matters more than fame, and where one misstep can cost everything. Zhang's empire is designed to outlast instability. It's fireproofed against exposure. No single individual holds all the power. Authority is spread, compartmentalized, decentralized, so even if one person stumbles, the machine keeps running. It's the exact opposite of the Western king and crown model. There are no billion-dollar bets, no high-risk ventures, just methodical growth and institutional resilience. Zhang's family doesn't appear in public, but they appear in corporate filings. They hold small but strategic roles. They co-sign decisions. They're part of the legal scaffolding that holds up the entire enterprise. And that's the point. They're there, but not exposed. They influence without being seen, and that influence is growing. Nongfu Spring and Wantai Biological are just the beginning. Zhang has begun investing in agriculture, data services, and health tech. All quiet, all essential. All areas that governments don't want billionaires competing in, but do want them investing in. His family's role in this expansion is deliberate. While Western heirs are handed companies with champagne ceremonies, Zhang's transition plan looks more like a handoff in a spy movie. No announcements, no social media tributes, just a shift of control. Slow, careful, untraceable. That's how you keep your empire safe. You don't tell the world your legacy plan. You execute it while they're still looking for your name on a list. And because his public presence is minimal, the scrutiny is too. No one expects drama from a man who refuses to perform. And what does legacy look like when it's this quiet? It looks like stability. It looks like presence without spectacle. It looks like a family that can continue operating under the radar, even as the Chinese economy transforms. It looks like power that never needed to be loud to be lasting. Because Zhang didn't build his empire to be admired, he built it to endure, through audits, through politics, through generations. He knows that today's applause can become tomorrow's target. So while other billionaires chase legacy in the form of statues and social media, Zhang is building something they'll never see coming. His family may never trend, they may never post, but they will control, quietly, consistently, and completely. Because in a world where so many are obsessed with being remembered, Zhang has chosen something different, being unforgettable. Not because you saw him, but because you never could. They built an empire without headlines, controlled billions without interviews, created legacy without exposure. While others chased attention, they mastered silence. And in today's world, that's not just rare, it's power. If this story opened your eyes to the kind of wealth that doesn't ask permission, like this video, comment Silent Dynasty. If you believe some families don't want fame, they want forever. And don't forget to subscribe, because next we uncover the billionaire-built island where governments don't govern, and only the rich get in.